Hey there guys, this is Phil from the RetroGamesNews.com. Going to be reviewing an arcade classic from Sega. This is Wonder Boy. The version I'm actually reviewing is for the Commodore 64. It's a very good version. It's very faithful to the original. Probably the only main difference is the background. As you see there behind the trees, is a little bit dark. I think it was a bit more elaborate than that in the arcade. But other than that, the gameplay is all there. The other main reason is my main emulator doesn't seem to be behaving itself, so that's one of the main reasons. But anyway, this is the version that I probably played the most. I did get to play it in the arcade back. There's that term again, back in the day. But back in 1985, this came out for the arcade. There was a little arcade near the main one that I used to go to as a kid, and they had the slightly more obscure games like this, and there was like Shinobi and Street Fighter 1, which is a pretty good beat 'em up. Most people, of course, know Street Fighter 2 more than that, but this was a great game, quite tough. In fact, I'm going to get my excuses in early. Playing this on a joypad, and really, I wish I had my Competition Pro back so that I could play it a bit better. You've got to be really accurate with your jumps. It's not very forgiving. Kind of reminds me of it's almost like Sega's answer to Mario Brothers, although Mario. It's not so much time jumping, it's more jumping on mushrooms' heads and things. But anyway, so yeah, this was out in 1985. Around that same year, also had versions of the Game Gear and the Master System. Both, again, very good versions. Then they also came out a little bit later, 1987. We had the Commodore 64 version, as we see here, and also came out on the Speccy and the Amstrad CPC. And you play the part of Tom Tom, who's this funny little kind of caveman walking around in his pants or underwear. Of course, in America, pants is trousers. But and the storyline. Now you can just stick with me on this one. It's very complicated storyline. You play the caveman whose girlfriend Tanya has been captured. Ta-da! Yes, probably not going to win an Oscar for that script, but. Anyway, Tanya's been captured by an evil monster, and you have to go through 7 areas in order to find the monster at the end. Each kind of main area has a boss as well that you have to kill. Within each area, which sort of derives of sort of have forests and hills, oceans, caves, mountains. There are 4 rounds, so each area is split into 4 sort of sections. You can see I'm on obviously a sort of an ocean section, dodging octopuses and things of that nature. You've got various weapons that you can pick up as well, that you tend to get from these sort of golden eggs. So one thing to be careful of is not to when you collect the egg, you see it sort of jumps a couple of feet in front of you. So if you do that too near the ocean, it'll actually drop into the water and you won't get the pickup. You'd have to jump over and then sort of go the opposite direction so that it doesn't fall into the water. So you can get a hammer, which is very useful for twatting things. You get a skateboard, as you saw at the beginning of the game, which is good fun, and you kind of pull back on the joystick to slow it down and do a kind of little wheelie. The good thing about that, when you've got the skateboard, you can kind of bash into things and it'll kill them off. And also, probably one of the most useful ones is an angel. Oops! There you go. As you saw, I just did exactly what I said not to do, and that is knock the egg into the into the sea. But yeah, one of the pickups is an angel that gives you immunity. So while she's sort of hovering above your head, you've got no sort of cares in the world. You can just run through and just bash into things, and they basically die. You also got to look out for bad eggs, and they're pretty easy to spot. They've got sort of dots all over them, like a kind of like a poisonous mushroom, I suppose. That will lose all of the energy. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see that there's a constant sort of depleting energy, which does make the game quite difficult. So as well as, if it's not perilous enough, bashing into flying octopuses and hornets and things of that nature, you've got your energy that's depleting constantly as well. If you eat the fruit, mind you, that will kind of replenish your energy. I tend to find with this game that I normally bashed into something before the energy even had time to deplete completely. Now, as I said, I had a bit of trouble when I was playing this earlier on, so I'm sort of going through it again to try and show you a little bit further. With the power of editing, I will maybe skip through a couple of the levels. Now, like I said, at the end of each main area, you will come across a boss which you have to defeat, and that will then reveal an object, and this will kind of makes part of the puzzle and leads you to the final boss at the end, which I have to admit I've never seen, never got that far. There was also, I remember around the time, now I should have looked this up beforehand, but there was another game that was very, very similar to this, and it was basically a complete rip-off, and it was on a budget title. I think it was £2.99, whereas most kind of premium games were about 10 quid back in the 80s. If you know what it is, then feel free to comment below. I'll try and look out for it as well, but it just came to me while I was recording this video. This also spawned an amazing 5 sequels. So as well as this game, you had then Wonder Boy in Monsterland, and then Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair, then you had Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, Wonder Boy in Monster World, and then finally Monster World 4. A bit confusing the way they've kind of named. You've got 2 Wonder Boy 3s, and then you've got Wonder Boy 4 at the end, which is actually about the 6th one in the title, but very strange. Anyway, so you can see here I'm having another bash, making my way through this level, jumping over the clouds. Like I say, you really need to be pretty accurate with your jumping and stuff. You need a decent joystick. I had a bit of trouble using my sort of little joypad. Anyway, great game, great fun. Still very challenging today. It's one of those games that would benefit maybe from being converted to sort of a Flash version. I'm going to give this a rating of 92%. Thanks for watching.